Hello everyone, welcome to another video on S.T.S. Ministries. Today I have some very special people. I've known both of them. Well, I've known him first. This is Herzl Glashin. Nice to have you,
Good, thank you
on the channel. Well, I've known Herzl Glashin for about 5 years, maybe 5, 6 years, or more than that, right?
Over 8 years.
Over 8 years, yeah. Yeah, we used to come to his house and have. He used to be sewing, working for God all the time. That's how I remember him, always working for God, which is a blessing because we need people like him. And Mrs. Karima, I met her about maybe 2 years ago, 2.5, right?
2, 3 years.
Yeah, and when I met her, she was also on fire with God. And yeah, so they've been a blessing to my family and me. It's been a blessing to have them around. So today we're going to be talking about their experience on what they've experienced with God through their life, with other people, and so let's get right into it. First, I'm going to ask Herzl, how was your life before you started learning about God, really taking Him serious?
So before I started learning about God, I was playing college football. I was about maybe a year and a half to enter into the NFL. I didn't know much more about God. I grew up in Miami, Florida, a really rough town, area they call Miami Carroll City. It was like, football was like I guess a paveway to help me get out of the streets. If we weren't playing football, we were doing things that were, corrupting the streets. We were doing robberies, we were doing burglaries, home invasions, a lot of bad things, but the football kind of kept me a little focused in track and field, so it gave me an opportunity to be able to pave my way throughout, life, so I can stay a little focused, and I had the opportunity to get a scholarship, and that was what I was doing beforehand, so it was by the mercy of God that I was able to not, get shot or get killed or even go to jail. So that was some of my things.
Were your parents Adventists, or did they have any religious background before?
Well, no, my parents weren't Adventists. How I started to even know about Christianity, my parents didn't go to church. So what they would do is, my next door neighbor would take us to church every Sunday, to be honest, or every once in a while Sunday we would go to church. And that's why I had a little format about God. I didn't even at the church, they didn't really teach anything much, at the Sunday church, but I just knew I was in a church environment. And then growing up in the South, it's a church, it's built up with a lot of, they call it the Bible Belt, the South, so which is, the church Bible Belt. So most people are church-going people, so that's why I had a little fundamentals.
Wow. How about you, Karima?
Well, actually, I grew up Seventh-day Adventist. Nice. My mom, she's Seventh-day Adventist, so from an early age, I had a relationship with God, but actually not until when I was about 27 years old, that's when I fully surrendered my life to God. During that time, though, I would say basically I was in the world, and I was searching and looking for other things. One of the things that I ended up going into modeling. When I moved out here in California, I had a contract, and I wanted to actually ended up being a swimsuit model too. And I was looking at the world for basically, for them to feed me and all different things. Those were the gods that I was chasing after. And I remember I was hanging out with some friends, and I actually got a dream, and I really do believe that the Lord ended up putting this dream into my mind, that I was with some friends, and basically I was with these friends, and they were lighting fires, and with them I was in an alley with them, and they were lighting fires, and I ended up turning back. And I knew from then that I had to wake up, and I had to really fully surrender my life to the Lord, I knew all these things about, about God and about Christianity, about Sabbath keepers and stuff like that. But not until when I was 27, that's when I fully surrendered my life to God.
Wow, that's powerful. So, you guys have different backgrounds, right? Mm-hmm. So, how did you guys meet? Like, how long have you been married? How did you guys meet? How's it going now?
So I met her at the Seventh-day Adventist Church about 3.5 years ago, I can say. Maybe even 4 years, I think. About 3.5 years, we'll say. I met her at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I was coming there from week after. A pastor invited me. He's retired now. So he invited me, to the church, and I went there. And I was coming there from time to time. And I just overheard her mother saying, somebody came to her mother and was like, "Is that your son?" And I was, they didn't think I was listening. And then the mom said, "No, but I'm hoping that he can be my son-in-law." Mm-hmm. So I overheard and I said, "Oh, okay, so you want me to be your son-in-law? Then let me see, what your daughter is really about." Yeah, her mom, yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's how, I ended up meeting her in the church environment. And we've been married for 1 year and 3 days now.
Wow, okay. Mm-hmm. So your anniversary wasn't too long ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, praise God, I hope, hopefully it goes on more, going with your relationship. And how is your relationship with each other, with God? You know what I mean? Like, do you guys strengthen each other? Yeah?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah? Encourage each other?
Yes, definitely encourage each other. More and more we see in the scripture, God tells us iron sharpens iron too, and we see that, as we grow closer together, and even to the work that the Lord gives us and blesses too, it helps us a lot with the ministry.
Nice. Okay, so now that we know about her song, Karima, we want to know, how did you start wanting to work for God? Why did you want to all of a sudden, just in your life, say, "I want to work for God"? Why?
So what happened was, my 10th grade year, I think it was my 10th grade year, I was running track and field, and I became the district champ, and the district champ in Miami, Florida, and you have to really run really fast. So I had one of the top 300 and 110 hurdle times in America. And what happened was, we was beefing with these guys, in Miami, and I was walking one day with my football equipment. This was after track season. I won in district, and I was walking with my football equipment. We had a game that day, and I was going to the bus stop, and I got hit by a truck. So when I got hit by a truck, I broke both of my legs. So I had a cast on one leg and the other leg, which, I was out and I had to get surgery and so forth. So they rushed me to the hospital, and I had to get surgery. And the doctor told me, you'll never run again. You'll never, be able to, play sports again. So I was heartbroken. But at that time, like I said, I had some kind of foundational belief in God, because I remember every track race, I would pray right before my knees, and I would just win the race. And I was like, God is the one that's making me win. That was my thought and process. And so what I did was, I took a bold stand right there. I submitted my life to God. I said, "Lord, if you will fix my legs, if you will help me to run again, I will serve you all the days of my life." So right then and there, that 11th grade year passed. I didn't run track and field. I didn't play football. Everybody was looking for me. Scholarship papers were coming 2 and 4. And what happened my 12th grade year, I started seeing my legs get better little by little, and I regained my speed, and I had a dominant season, and I became in what is called the Dade and Broward game, which is the best players in South Florida all-star game. I made it to Dade and Broward. I had maybe over 126 tackles, if you know anything about sports, 11 sacks, 1 interception, and like 10 breakups. So that was like a dominant year. And I got a full ride scholarship to Jackson State. So what happened was, at that time period, it was time to go off for college, and something happened that I didn't qualify. I had the GPA, I had the grades and so forth. So I had to come to California. And when I came to California, something started piercing my heart. I would start going to some Sunday churches, and those Sunday churches, like, man, they're not preaching the truth. I just knew it wasn't the truth. I just seen that it was all entertainment. And so I just start piercing my heart, to say, what is the truth? And as time went by, I remembered the vow that I gave to God. See, when you make a vow to God, the Lord writes it down in the records, and it comes a time when that vow must take place. And I didn't understand prophetically what it meant and prophetically what's happening now, but I knew that I made a vow. And at that time, that vow came forth. And then I got introduced to Seventh-day Adventists, and the Sabbath. So I remember that vow, and I remember it was playoff time. We had a playoff game, and I got to such a conviction that I said, you know what, it's playoff, I'm not going to my playoff game. I remember my coach was like, Herzel, where's Herzel to get in the game? And he was so upset. I didn't even show up for the playoff game. Maybe I could have helped win the game or not. We don't know, but I remember not showing up, and my coach was so angry, and it was my freshman year, and that moment I never turned back. I never played in a college football game again. I never had the opportunity at that moment. So then I made my vow, sure. At that time I was still playing football, and I was going to church on Saturdays. And when I was going to church, I remember the sun going down. I'll be in the football game, and I'm running slow because I'm scared to hit the guy because I know what the Sabbath is, so I don't want to hit him hard. And it's the Sabbath, So I end up, after that, I just gave it up, and I never played sports again. And I told myself, if I made this vow to the Lord, I'm going to serve the Lord all the days of my life. And that's the vow I've been committed to since then.
Wow, praise God. All right, so I know about 2 weeks ago, you guys went to Idaho to learn how to be medical missionaries, right?
Yes.
So let's back up a little bit. How did you hear about that?
It was one of her friends, Enoch. He invited us to the medical missionary class.
Okay. So who is Enoch? What is he known for?
Well, Pastor Enoch is known. He's been a young pastor. I think he became a pastor about 17, 18 years old. Wow. And he's known for mostly internet ministry. He's known for media ministry, using technologies. I think he started with Skype. That was one of his first technologies that he was using, doing Bible studies on Skype, and now he's doing YouTube, podcasts. So he's known for media ministry. He believes that in this time period that we should be using media more than ever to evangelize and spread the gospel. The Bible says that the gospel shall be preached in every nation, kingdom, tongue, and people. So what is the fastest way to do that? Is no other way is but by internet ministry, and that's what he's known for, doing internet ministry.
Amen. Those who want to look up his social media on YouTube, will be having the link on the screen right now. So, so you heard about the medical missionary in Idaho. So, did you have the money to go? Did you have the encouragement to go? How was it expensive to go? Was it inexpensive? Did you think that you were going to learn stuff or not learn anything? What was your story about that?
So.
Yeah.
So what happened was that we had planned this trip that we wanted to go to Idaho and get medical missionary training, and as time was going by, we let a friend of ours borrow our car, and he was driving, and he wrecked our car. He totaled our car and hit two other cars. So we had no transportation to get to Idaho. We're in California. Idaho is about 1,700 miles away, so we had no transportation. But I had told my family, we're going to pray, and by faith we're going to go there because we're not trying to do our work. We want to be trained to get into the Lord's work. And anybody that is willing to get into the Lord's work, he's going to make a way if it is his will for us to go. So it wasn't that it was expensive, but we didn't have the funds to get there. So we prayed, and we believed God's promises, and we pushed out there and asked for help, and we got denied. From so many people. It seems as if they didn't want to help us. We asked our church, which we know they had the finances, and they didn't want to help us. We asked different individuals, and they didn't want to help us. But we came that we had got a donation to go from one person that helped us with $100. And from there, something came in my mind to say, hey, let's put our home on Airbnb.
What is Airbnb?
So Airbnb is a technology for room sharing. You know, it started a few years back. It's a company that was started in San Francisco. When people didn't have somewhere to stay, they would rent their homes or they would rent their room, and you pay a fee to that person that you're renting their room. It's like a new technology of hotel management. So as that time went by, you know, we just prayed and we said, okay, we're gonna put our home. We didn't have planned to put our home on Airbnb, but at that moment it was like, this is it. We're gonna put our home on Airbnb. And as we woke up, you know, we looked on our phone and our house was booked for the whole week.
Wow.
For the entire time we were about to leave for Idaho.
Wow. Wow. So God helped you guys, right?
Yes.
Doing that and that donation by that person. So what were your expectations when you got there? Were the people there, were they godly? Were they working for God? Did you guys learn a lot? Tell us your experience.
It was a great blessing when we got there. We truly see, like, you know, it's like crossing over like the Red Sea to be able to see that blessing, what God has for you. It was amazing. Where we stayed at a friend's home, and it was so beautiful. It was like country living basically there.
Wow.
It was huge land, a huge house. She had her own garden, and when we got there, she told us, she said, come on, we're going out to eat. And we went out to eat, and we ended up going in the garden, picking fresh fruits. We were eating all different berries, and she was just loading information upon us and telling us about the different plants and herbs and stuff like that. It was just amazing. And to be able to see the youths there, like God is doing something really very special over there with the youths there. We've met like a lot of sisters and brothers who are on fire working for God, and it is just amazing for the opportunity that God had blessed us with too.
Who was this lady you stayed with?
Oh, so we stayed with this one lady. Her name is Sister Maggie. She's a medical missionary also too. I think she had she has a really powerful testimony where she came from, where God had brought her from, and also too, her families are different, like third generation medical missionaries and medical missionary, but missionaries. And she shared her testimonies along with us too, with her about her family.
Wow. Okay. So you guys got there, learned about her, and when she said let's go out to eat, you guys actually went in the garden and picked the stuff. So was that like at that point, did you guys learn natural remedies? You had classes, or what did you guys learn while there?
So the uniqueness of what the Lord had done for us, He did not only let us go to the medical missionary training, but He put us in a home with a medical missionary for over 30 years. So as we was out in the garden, she was showing us different plants and the healing natures of different plants. She would show us this flower, and she said this is for that. She would show us this herb, and she would say it's for arthritis, or it's for diabetes. She would show us this, it was for flu. So we was able to not only get 32, because it was 32 lectures that were taking place. I mean, from 11 a.m. to about 9 p.m. we would leave there. But beforehand, when we went there, we was already getting training. Wow. And then when we came home, we was getting training. And then it was just so much information that we knew that this was the Lord's calling, you know, for our family to become medical missionaries. So one of like the remedies was blackstrap molasses with grape juice, and it was for
Blood builder.
It was to build your blood, you know. So you would use blackstrap molasses, and you would use grape juice, and it would build up your blood. Another one was tofu, which amazed me. You know, the medical missionary, his sanitarian, which his name is David Cook, he was teaching us how to take tofu, or cold tofu, put it over the head with a rag, and it will dry out brain tumors.
Wow.
With tofu. And it was so amazing that I can't believe that, you know, with tofu you can pull out brain tumors. So I have a friend, you know, and one day he was telling me, you know, his son was telling me, about how his dad had brain tumors. I remember this situation, his dad having a brain tumor, and we was all praying for him and so forth. And I think at that time, they didn't have the proper insurance card to get the surgery, so they had to wait a little while. So they used that same remedy. They took tofu, and they was using that natural remedy, and it helped so much that it delayed the time, for them. Because if they didn't delay that time, he would have, it probably would have went on him. Right. It would have grew faster. But they used that natural remedy with tofu for the brain tumors, and it amazed me, and I praise God, that they were able to have that remedy, to be able to help his father, with the brain tumor. So we seen already was good results from testimonies, not people that we can hear, but people that we personally know that use that protocol to help slow down the healing of their body.
Wow. Okay, so you guys are learning this stuff. Did you guys take your daughter with you?
Yes.
Okay. Did she learn anything?
Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah?
Yes. I told my husband, I said it was a must for her to go also, too. Because she, not only because she's 8 years old, we would think that, she's super young and wouldn't be interested. But it was amazing to see her jotting down notes and writing and paying attention also, too.
Yeah, I was going to say that, ask that, too. Was she interested in it?
Yeah.
And you answered the question, yeah. Sometimes we think God, religion, these remedies, all the health stuff is just for older people because they're the one that gets sick faster. No, it's for all of us. Why? Because we also, as young children, get flus, diarrhea, all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So knowing how to heal it without using Tylenol, all this drugs, right? Mm-hmm. It's better for us. So one last question. After you did this whole course, I know you guys learned a lot. How did it change your experience or your thinking, your seeing of natural remedies, of how us as God's people have to conduct ourselves with other people? Are you guys now teaching other people? Are you doing health nuggets? What are you guys doing now to show your fruits?
So I think for me personally, it gave me a closer connection with God. I believe that, we were learning a lot of Bible studies, but I think we weren't doing it in the right method. Mm-hmm. And we know that Jesus went out healing and preaching. So we know that the most thing that Jesus did the most, he did a lot of healing. The Bible says that Jesus was a medical missionary himself. So I think what it's doing now is giving us more purpose. Another way, using another method to really reach people. And not only coming at them with the Bible, but really caring about their health needs. Because we know we're in a world right now, there are so many sick people. There are so many people that, are dying from disease, dying from cancer. And there's simple things that they could just do to change, And now we're just walking, talking Jesus. We're Jesus ourselves, not Jesus as in the living, but Christ living within us. Because we was able to go to San Francisco last week. Her cousin, had stomach problems, and she didn't know what the stomach problems were. And they were paying $250 a month just for phone calls and emails. Mm-hmm. So they pay every month $250 to a holistic healer for phone calls and emails. We was able to give so much information to her, so many real things that she can really do. And she told us, she said, I'm paying this money, but what you guys have given me is a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. We gave her the laws of health. We gave her sunshine. We told her about air. We told her about proper water. We told her about exercise. We told her about having a proper diet. We told her about having temperance. We told her about drinking water. We told her about exercising. And we told her the most important one of all, which is trusting God. And then when you can care about people's health, they're willing to hear, because after we spoke to her about her health, we was able to then share a documentary, a prophetic documentary with her family, and they watched the whole thing. So it gave us an opening branch to be able to, and that's what the laws of health does. That's what health does, because once you can help your doctor, you talk to your doctor, and your doctor can help you anything, the next thing is that you can pretty much go to them once your doctor can heal you, you believe whatever they say. You know, my doctor said this, my doctor said that. Yeah. So you'll believe them because they can heal you. Yes, you shut out everyone else. So that was the opportunity that we got so far that I'm seeing that is opening up the blessing for others as well as our characters.
Wow. Okay, so we know that these natural remedies help, but do the herbs, do the ointments, the oils, all this stuff, do they really have power in themselves, or do we need a higher power for them to work in us?
You know what, actually, with the lady that we stayed with, you know, one of her quotes was that we are to worship the Creator, not the things the Creator makes too. Wow. So, you know, that was a really blessing, and she keep on pointing that out to us every time, because the thing is, the world, you know, they look at these things and they worship that those things become their God when it heals them also too, and they don't give no credit to our Creator above too. So it's very important, you know, for us to be able to give glory to God. He tells us in His Word that He heals all diseases.
Yeah. So I want you to look in the camera, Rizal and Karima. I'll give you guys a few minutes each to say to the people right now that are hurting, that maybe spiritually, maybe physically, maybe financial issues. What would you tell them?
I would just say to continue trusting God. You know, He never fails to. He's in the business of saving souls and also healing His children also too. And you know, as we look and we study His Word, you know, it's very important for us to just form a relationship, get to know God, get to know the one who creates us, our great healer, the great physician.
What I would say to you, brothers and sisters, is I am you. I know what it means to be poor. I know what it means to be homeless. I was homeless. I know what it means to have financial stability. I had that. I know what it means to not know who God was, because I didn't know who God truly was. I know what it means to sin and be hurt. I have been through all the things that you guys have been through. I know what it means to lose friends from health, from death. I know what it means to see friends be murdered. What I can tell you, brothers and sisters, is that God is real. If you see me here, standing here and testifying of our Lord and Savior, you can make it through all things. You can overcome all things. You can be able to fight through all trials with prayer. And that's what I would say to you. God has a calling upon your lives. If I tell you that I was hit by a truck and I'm still here, if I tell you I've seen people get murdered and I'm still here praising God, if I tell you that I was homeless on Skid Road, if you can Google what Skid Road is, and I'm still here praising God and I'm in good health, then brothers and sisters, there's hope for you. There's hope that you can overcome all things, because I am here and I have overcome. And I'm only 31 years old and I've been through all these things. So brothers and sisters, what I can say to you, that there is hope for you if there is hope for me. If I can have an opportunity to enter in the kingdom of heaven, then so can you.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the channel. Hope to have updates. We're going to have more updates with you guys on what you're going to be doing. And we did record their Brother Rizal's health nuggets. We will be posting that soon. And when we do, you guys can have, I'm going to put the contact information in the bottom of the description. And he also has a shopping.
Yes. So my platform is called How Easy. HOWEASYY.com. It's a social health marketplace. You can read blogs from my wife on there. You can read blogs from other people, and you can come in here. You can sign up. It's free, and you can socialize, and you can find different natural remedy, different protocols, different health products, and different unique products as well.